Hello and welcome. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to use the global anchor. To get started, press select on the global anchor and then add the origin, position, and friction values. This will add where the track is similar to the local anchor. However, you may now add actions. Actions affect how the track rotates and translates throughout the duration of the system. A translation action will move the track along the axis the translation action is pointing at. So, for instance, if I change the pitch to 90, the track will translate up and down. However, the position does not matter at all, only the orientation. I just set 2 just to show the axis. For a rotation action, the position does matter because the track will rotate along this axis here. Next thing I'm going to do is add the properties and just make them the same as we have done before. And now that we have everything set up, including the origin, the actions, and the properties, we are now ready to move into the editor. The editor will look a bit different this time. However, there are some similarities, such as the pitch, roll, yaw, and velocity. You will notice that these are duplicated, with the difference being the ending letter. Anything that ends with an F means forward of the origin, anything with an R means rear of the origin. This will make sense in a second. First, I'm going to edit these ones to make them have a distance of 5. And then I'm going to change the radius, just make it 20. So the origin is technically here because we set the builder y to 2. So this is anything forward of the origin. And now I'm going to set the rear of the origin and just duplicate it. So now we have the track made. Moving on to the two actions we made, the translation and rotation, each of them run on time. However, the caveat is that their time much must both be greater than 0 for the system to run. So in this case, I'm going to set both to 5. Now, in order to get into the actual mode where we see the system, we have to change the camera view. Camera view mode 0 and 1 is just for the track. Once we get into mode 2 and 3, then we can see the system run. Using the buttons Q and E, we can change the time. Right now, since there's no action applied, there is nothing that happens. However, if we change the translation to 5 and we use the keys Q and E, we can see that it moves up and down. Similarly, for the rotation, if we make it something like 40, then we will see that it rotates and translates, and also we can see that the actual position along the track moves. So if we go into camera mode 3 and use Q&E, we can actually see how it runs. Once you have made the system, then you can see all of the forces for the system. Local is just for the track. So this includes any forces that result from the track as a result of the accelerational velocities. In other words, this is if the track were permanently fixed without any actions applied. However, the actions do not account for gravity, only the local does. The translation is any forces from the translation action, and the rotation is any forces from the rotation action. All is just the combined value of each of these. This covers the tutorial for the local and global anchor mode. However, if you find yourself needing any help, please visit our support page. And if that is not enough, feel free to leave a comment or a question. Thank you for watching this series of tutorials, and I can't wait to see what you create with VCS.